I mean, of course, it's abominable to grab people off the street or from their workplace or from their home or from the front of their kid's school. And we've got people watching and protesting in those cases. But there's something particularly egregious about using immigration court as a trap for asylum seekers, because those asylum seekers are doing exactly what they're supposed to do by going to their court hearings in basically every case. And yes, we're talking about tens of thousands of cases. These are people who, when they crossed into the country, did in fact stop at a Department of Homeland Security or, Border Patrol facility and say, I'm coming in seeking asylum or other status. And they got assigned a court date. And then they went and showed up in their court dates. And there's law going back hundreds of years that says you want court to be a place where people know they are able to come. And, if they're a witness or if they're, have a removal order, whatever it is, that they show up. And if the government has a case to make, the government should make the case to that judge. But not in one case did I hear the government say, okay, we are now seeking to detain this person. And, instead, the government would make their motions. The judge would give the person a next court date to come back for their individual hearing or transfer their jurisdiction to a different location where they were living. Or if they were a young person seeking what's called special immigrant juvenile status, things have to be determined in family court to know if that's a kid who's without their parents, all kinds of different adjudications. And people would then leave the courtroom and be abducted in the hallway lawlessly. Again, someone would not come and say, this has anything to do with the case you just had. They wouldn't say anything at all. They just grab them. And in almost every case where then lawyers filed a habeas proceeding in federal court and were able to say to a genuine federal judge, Your Honor, this was a violation of this person's rights. They had just been in immigration court. In the vast majority of cases, they got released. So yes, using the courthouse as an abduction trap. There have been so many violations of the rule of law and people's civil and human rights. But this one is especially egregious. And that's part of why, I want to take this case to trial. I will say they have pioneered new ways of trying to take advantage of people in court. Just last week, the government, Department of Homeland Security, the Trump administration started doing these things they're now calling mega master calendar hearings, where they're accelerating people's cases by 6 months, giving judges who typically would see 20 or 30 people in a day, 120 people in a day. And as you said, in some cases, people are afraid to show up because they've seen on television what might happen. And their cases are being accelerated, so some people might not even be getting the mailed notice. We've got a lot of asylum seekers here in shelters, which are notoriously bad at giving people their mail. But if you fail to show up, whether because you didn't get your notice or out of fear that you might be abducted, or it was supposed to be 6 months from now, if you don't show up, then the judge may order your removal. So it's a kind of a Faustian choice that people have. Do I go and risk being abducted and detained, or do I not go and risk being abducted and detained?